Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Player First podcast with your co-host, Coach Fernando and Coach Leo here, connecting the U.S. and the U.K. together
Woohoo!
for helping youth soccer players achieve their goals around the world. So today, Coach Leo, first of all, Coach Leo, why don't you just tell us what's going on, what we're talking about today, and let's dive in.
Yes, Coach Fernando. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about a bit about the importance of staying physically active during these periods of time. Now, I know something a lot of kids and a lot of adults as well struggle with, especially with these lockdowns, especially with it being winter, is activity levels, right? So being active, exercising, training, gyms being closed,
Right.
so all of these limits that are put on us at these moments in time have made us less active. So we want to share some tips with you guys on how to become a bit more active during this time of the year, during lockdown, so you can feel more confident and develop obviously better self-esteem as well.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And I think that's the main theme right there is the self-esteem, the self-confidence, right? Because when you are being physically active, when you are taking care of yourself, you're making those things a priority in your life. Whether, like you said, kids or adults, it doesn't matter. When you're doing that stuff, you tend to feel better about yourself, about what you're doing. And your energy is just different as opposed to if you're just sitting on the couch and not taking care of your body, not making time to go out and exercise a little bit or get some sun or, eat the right foods and do these types of things that'll help you feel good throughout your day.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, Coach Fernando, what's one thing you've noticed with your players during lockdown? So, what's something that players have become less of during lockdowns or during winter?
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. I think the number one thing is dealing with school online. A lot of that has changed during the past several months, almost a year now. Right, we're going into lockdown or COVID era. So that's been really a change. Is just so much more screens in front of players' faces all the times. And it's a blessing to be able to have all the technology and make things a lot easier for kids that they could still learn, get an education online and even train and do stuff with us online. But, it is a challenge for kids just having that in front of their face at all times. They're having less time interacting with actual people and their peers in school and at practices and, at games and whatnot. And they're having even more interaction through a screen. So
Yeah,
some of that can kind of get lost. That human connection can get lost during these times. And that I think that's the biggest struggle that a lot of kids are gonna, face.
yeah, absolutely. And I know something as well that a lot of my players are struggling with is routine, especially the morning routine, right? Because I've got a lot of players that either cycle to school, they walk to school, some even run to school, but they run because they're late to school.
There you go.
Now that's obviously all been taken away from them because of a lockdown and everything's being done at home. So, they're waking up 5 minutes before before their class starts online, which means all they have to do is roll out of bed and just open their laptop and they're at school.
Yeah.
So routine has really affected some of my boys, especially. And that activity of just, I don't know, cycling or running, that for some is like probably the only little bit of exercise they do in the day. So that's obviously been taken away, which means now they're more, they haven't got any activity to do.
Right.
So I know for me, that's been something that's been a big struggle.
Mm. Yeah, makes sense. Um, Definitely, like you said, there are some kids that they walk to school, ride a bike to school, and that might be the only activity they get. So
Yeah.
that is true. That is truly a concern too for a lot of kids out there. So I think it's important that if you're not getting your normal activity of walking to school or riding to school, you still need to find certain times in your day where you're getting out to exercise, and even families together can be doing these things, right? Parents with their kids. I think it's super important time that
Mhm.
parents should be getting active with their kids as well, going out for those evening walks or morning walks or, walks with the dog or whatever it is, or riding the bikes around. And I know it's winter now and it's cold and all that, but there's nothing wrong with still going outside, bundling up, and going out for that evening walk or whatever it is, because you're right, there's just not a lot of activity going on, in a general sense, for a lot of kids and a lot of families.
Yeah, 100%. So, as a coach and as a very active person yourself, I follow you on Instagram, always doing your exercises, your stretching.
I'm trying,
Um,
I'm trying to run, I'm trying to stay active for sure.
that's it. Now, how important is it that you combine that activity level, all that exercising, with a good diet and staying hydrated?
Oh man, that's essential. That is so essential. That is huge. I think those are like probably three of the biggest things that you can do to impact just how you feel,
Yeah.
not only physically but mentally as well. If you can find time to be active every day, if you can start changing, not even changing, but just, I mean, in a way changing, but just making sure you make little shifts to your diet to start, incorporating some healthier foods. Um, you know, if there's one thing you could do is like eat one salad a day. just find time to have vegetables in your day.
Yeah.
You know, you need those nutrients that are coming from good whole healthy foods. I want you to think of stuff that isn't in a package,
Hmm.
right? That isn't like prepackaged, processed, has all these, preservatives and chemicals and whatever in it. I want you to think of whole foods like fruits and vegetables and more natural types of foods that you can eat. Just shifting to that type of food, staying active, whatever that means to you, and staying hydrated. Like you said, that is huge. Staying hydrated, just making sure throughout the day you're taking your glasses of water in, because I know sometimes with me being at home, it's hard. You forget, like, oh man, I should be drinking water. And what happens is a lot of times when you feel like you're hungry,
Yeah.
it's actually that you're just thirsty. Believe it or not, you're actually thirsty, and you just need to, hydrate your body. And they're very similar feelings. I know when you're super thirsty, that's a problem, right? That means you're very dehydrated, right? But hunger and thirst could be kind of similar. And sometimes when you're hungry, it's just that you're actually thirsty and your body's just is a little underhydrated and you need to hydrate it. So if you do those things, you're going to feel better physically. You're just going to feel with more energy, right? You're going to feel with more of a bounce to your day. And because of that, it's going to translate into how you feel about yourself as well. You're going to feel accomplished after you do that physical activity, or after you get in those healthy foods, or you're getting your hydration in. Mentally, you're just going to feel accomplished. You're going to feel good, because you know what? My body feels good. It's going to make my mind feel good, right? Um,
Yeah.
I forget who had this saying. I feel like it was, I don't know if you know who this is, but he's like a super marathon runner. His name is David Goggins, and he's like an ex like Marine guy, and like he's just like insane. And I love this guy. If anyone knows who that is, you know who I'm talking about. If not, go Google him or Instagram him. He's just insane. He's awesome. But anyway, he says he reaches his mind through his body.
Wow.
Like, so he just focuses on exercising, just like mastering his body to really get to his mind. So, point being, if you exercise, you eat well, you hydrate well, you're going to feel good physically, but more than that, you're going to feel even better mentally.
Yeah, absolutely. There was this girl once that we were talking about this topic about eating well, staying hydrated, and I can't remember exactly what she was taking, but something that she said to me and always stuck with me was, your gut is like your second brain.
Yeah, yeah, I like that.
So if your gut is healthy, you're gonna feel better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's this
Um,
whole thing about gut health. You're right.
yeah. So the gut is absolutely critical that you look after it, because what you put inside your engine is how you're going to operate. So if you're, constantly eating things that are a bit heavy or maybe that dehydrate you, such as processed foods, then it's going to get a point where you're going to feel heavy, you're going to feel slow, and you're not going to want to do any physical activity because of
Right.
the way you feel. So I remember she made that point, and it's one of those things that just stay in your head. Like whenever you feel a bit heavy, I always remember those words
Right.
she said.
And it's like a cycle, right? It's like a cycle when you eat well, you hydrate yourself,
Yeah,
you're going to want to exercise. And you exercise well is going to make you continue to hydrate and eat well. And it becomes a really, you know, good cycle to fall in. But on the other side, it could be a bad cycle on the other side, right? If you, like you said, you eat those processed foods, you don't take care of your nutrition, you're not hydrating, it becomes a lot harder to then exercise because you don't have the energy. You feel kind of heavy, you feel slow, sluggish.
yeah,
And so it becomes that vicious cycle if you don't exercise, and then you don't feel good about yourself.
yeah,
And then you keep eating these foods, right? So it's just about finding that one little change that's simple for you that'll start the domino effect.
yeah, yeah. Love that. Now, as a family, right? What sort of piece of advice could you give to parents to make their household more active, right? Because I know, speaking with some parents, sometimes they always talk about their child not being active, right? He's always on the PlayStation, he's always on the computer. But as parents, I think, I'm not a parent yet, but I like to think that when I become one, I want to make sure that as a household we are active and we are healthy, right?
Yeah, for
Now,
sure.
and
For
that
sure.
starts from the parent. If you're a good role model to your child, and you're exercising, you're eating right, you're looking after what you consume, in not only in terms of like food, but obviously what you watch, what you read, that can have an effect on how you feel. So what advice could you give parents with kids that are maybe watching this, to become more active?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like you said, I'm not a parent either, but um,
You're not?
I feel like it sometimes with all the kids I coach. But no, uh, I think it depends on the age of the kids too, as well, and whatnot. That has a factor to it. Teenagers as opposed to younger kids and whatnot. But I think in general, the earlier that you can get your kid to understand physical fitness uh, as a key component to their health, the better off that your kid is going to be. So, just educating them on the importance of staying active, keeping an active lifestyle, just for health reasons, right? To stay healthy physically and mentally. So just educating them on that fact, because it is a fact, right? So,
Hmm.
and then from there, the sooner you could do that, the earlier you could do that with your kids, educating them, the better off they'll be in the long run. But I think it also comes down to being that example as well, right? Because it's one thing to educate, but then it's another thing to, like you said, be that role model in the household, because that's what parents are, especially to the younger kids out there. They're the role models in the house for their kids. So if you're going to be trying to help your child stay active, like you said, you want it to be a family thing. You want to involve them in your activities because they're going to take on, what you take on. So I think it's about being that role model. And I think that's one of the reasons, this is kind of personal, but it's okay. I think that's one of the reasons I try my best to lead my active lifestyle and be active, because one day, whenever that does happen, if I do start a family and whatnot, I do want to have that active lifestyle for my kids. So that way it's just like, it's easy. It's just a part of, what I do, and the kids can just come along with me,
Yeah.
So I do believe in that the parent is the role model. And so, it does start there, and just with educating the kid as much as you can and as early as you can, just about fitness being a key to health.
Love that, Coach Fernando. Always on fire.
Oh, I'm trying.
All right. So now it's all well and good. We have a good diet or hydration.
Good. That's good. I like hearing that.
Well, better said, right? We can give kids all the advice we want in terms of you got to eat healthy, you got to exercise. But if we haven't got good time management, right, it's going to become very difficult to lead an active lifestyle, right? Because we only have so many hours in the day to do certain activities. So how do you, as a coach, an educator, a role model, a very busy person, how do you better time manage so that you can make time in the day for your fitness, right? For your exercise, for your training, which means that you're not so reliant on just your team training, or if you do, I don't know, private training. How do you be accountable off the field?
Yeah. So are you asking like what kids can do, what players can do, what parents can do, or
what do you do
okay
currently? How do you better time manage, and how can you help, or how can kids better time manage related to what you do?
Yeah, so what I do is I literally I script my days out as best as I can. So tomorrow I'll know what's happening as best as I can. I'll write down a little to-do list of what I have to do, the number one goal that I have for myself tomorrow, and we'll go through, and I'll literally list throughout the day what time I'm doing things, and I'll try my best to stick to that schedule. Obviously things come up and you got to be flexible, but I think that's the first step to being successful with time management, is having a plan. So whatever works for you out there, have some sort of plan for your day. And I would definitely suggest thinking about it before the day happens. So don't wake up and try to do it in the morning, because that's when you start being a little bit reactive to the day, and maybe things come up in the morning that you weren't planning for. And so you're reacting to things. So plan for things the day before is what I would say. That'd be the first thing. Have a plan for what's going on tomorrow, and you can make those things a priority in your plan. So maybe tomorrow you're going to plan to go for that run, or take the kids to the park, or whatever it is. But you want to start with planning out, what you can start doing tomorrow.
Yeah, love that. And I'd also say prioritize as well. Right, make your training, your exercise a priority in the day, as well as your schoolwork, eating.
Yeah,
definitely prioritize exercise and your training, because it's going to help in how you feel, how you operate. All right, good stuff, Coach Fernando.
Yeah, for sure. Prioritize is huge.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, pleasure as always. You've inspired a whole country to be active. Well, two countries, wow, UK and the US.
You're very generous, Coach. You're very generous with the. I hope so. I hope so. But I know we're getting there. We want to get to reach as many kids as possible and families as possible around the world.
That's it. And if you want to follow Coach Fernando's exercise routine on his Instagram stories, we are going to put it in the links below this video. So give Coach Fernando a follow, give myself a follow to see what we're up to. I'm not as fun as Coach Fernando on the Insta, but
I don't know if I'm fun. I wouldn't qualify it as fun, but yeah, we try to stay active. And I don't post that much, Coach. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't post that much, but
must be
time to time, yeah, I'll share my runs and what I'm up to a little bit. But half the time I don't. Half the time I do stuff and I don't share it. But sometimes I'll do. Sometimes I'll go a lot with it. But yeah.
All right, awesome. Okay, well, if what you've watched today is of value, please subscribe, like, comment on this video. If you have any questions for us, you can connect with us through all our social media links. And Fernando, it's been a pleasure as always, spending another day with you, learning off you. And
vice versa,
you are an inspiration to me.
Stop it now. Stop it right now. You're too kind. You're too kind.
Okay. Well, I'll see you on the next episode.
Let's do it.